Did you want something to drink?
Yeah, what do you get?
I don't have anything. No, let's see if anything's cold in the garage. And you can introduce yourself. No, just sit down. We're going.
We're going right now. So this is the sequel podcast, episode 553. That's probably inaccurate. I'm Cory Easley. Matt Bonta is fishing beers at this point. And I think we're going to do a review / commentary of the latest sequel production. No.
Is that a thing?
Is it?
Might be.
I don't know. I've never seen it. The latest sequel production of...
Welcome to Sequel Productions. I'm
Not
Matt
in the Dark,
Bonta.
and I'm Cory Easley again.
Here we are.
So we're watching Not in the Dark.
This is going to be an impromptu commentary to Not in the Dark. You've seen the movie, I trust.
I have seen the movie.
Everyone's seen the movie. As of right now, the movie has... let's see. 94 views. So...
Not bad. I mean, that's some, right? It's better than nothing.
Yes, a lot of people have watched this movie. And no one said anything to me about it, one way or the other.
I think because of... this is my...
Because it's not the easiest watch in the world.
It's not the easiest watch in the world. It is cinematically interesting.
It's the best looking movie of the bunch.
If we had this film quality for any of the other films that we've
Everyone
done,
before this.
we'd probably have something by now.
So, Cory, by all means, ask any questions you may have as we go along. Make any comments. This is me.
So when this first came on, this is you playing the drug dealer / pimp.
Yes.
I like the character. I think it's funny. The dialogue, the way you're spitting the lines.
Sam wrote most of this dialogue.
That's entertaining. I think that, and this is my notes. Like, take this or leave it.
Sure.
I think the sniffing thing went too far.
I didn't know what to do, and
it
was last minute for me.
You know, but you were like doing it a lot. But I don't hang out tweakers, so I don't know.
And also, dude, tweakers are way worse.
Are they?
They're way worse. Yeah, you see him come into work. There's a new kid in work now that's fucking
tweaking,
spazzy, and just they talk to themselves a lot.
Yeah.
And it was last minute for me. This was the day that my sister decided to tell me that I ruined her life with this movie. So,
okay.
And she was supposed to get her friend to do this part.
Okay.
And then she was just like, oh, he doesn't want to do it or something like that.
Right.
Also, at the same time that she was like, you ruined my life.
Okay.
So, it wasn't supposed to be me. I knew it was going to either end up being me in one of these parts, because Connor also pops in here. And Connor had already let us use his car for the movie, so he was going to be there to use his car again.
Right.
So I was like, Connor, you got...
Tweaker?
Yeah, I didn't want to be the tweaker, so he's just the
See,
customer.
I think that would have been a fun little spot to play.
Yeah, but I don't think he's an actor. And you know what? Honestly, I think he would be more fun in the fucking Fiasco as your character's partner with the chicken.
Yeah.
The bucket
probably.
of chicken. He's
Especially
a more
if we
pathetic
get him
kind
to
of
grow out
guy.
a beard. Get him to grow a beard out again.
Sure.
So he just looks scruffy and greasy. But not necessarily like the Quentin. Like, who's this fucking guy?
That's Connor.
That's Connor?
That's Connor.
He looks like hot ass right there. Did you have him shave his head?
No.
That's just what he has looked like.
Yeah, that's what he looked like.
That's the look right there. That's like fucking Chumley looking motherfucker for Get Fiasco. That's the guy I want. Okay.
That's him.
That's my partner right there. And it's fucking.
Why does it look like he has a lot of forehead?
It does. It looks like he's got some kind of.
He's got his head he's got his hair pulled back and kind of like a top knot kind of thing because his hair's kind of long, kind of not.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, we should at least get together and just film that shit.
You met him, right? You met him. Right? You podcasted with him.
Did he?
Yeah, he's the one
Is he the kid?
That worked at the
escape rooms.
Yeah, escape rooms.
Wow, that's a different dude, man.
Yes.
Like talking
and you know
to
what?
him in person, like that's a different guy.
He comes off different in the movie than he did when we were actually filming with him.
Interesting.
Like, he's a lot better after reviewing the footage than I thought when we were shooting it.
Yeah. He's not bad. I mean, I like him. I think with some work, like, he's great.
Sure.
Like, it reminds me of, I don't want to compare, because
Patrick, everyone.
It reminds me of early Patrick.
Everyone, like, this is a Patrick kind of role.
Exactly. It's like the dirty cop. Drug guy.
This movie looks good, doesn't it?
It looks.
It looks really good.
Yeah. So
crisp, clean colors.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fabulous, and some of the dark stuff was a little too dark, I think, in my opinion.
And
I like the half lighting right now.
Night is always fucking.
It's the hardest thing to shoot. It always has been.
So we shot this at Idlewild Park.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. You're under the bridge over there. Well, at least where he picked her up.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that was Keystone Bridge.
Yeah.
Keystone Bridge.
Yeah, on the underside, right where it comes off of Keystone and dead ends there.
I wanted to film up at Mayberry, but it started pissing like like an hour before. And I was like, well, fuck. And I was like, well, let's go here.
Okay.
And then it stopped pissing.
Like, by the time you get ready to shoot it, quit.
Yeah, it quit pissing.
That's typical.
But, like, I thought what we got was good.
I mean, like I said, I don't dislike it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't dislike it either. I like a lot of it. I know Casey likes a lot of it when we're going through it.
There's a lot of stuff in there that's fun to watch.
But I've lived with this movie, so it's hard to not for me. But like also at the same time,
you've picked out a lot of the good parts that you see, and the way, because you have a different perspective on how the movie was made. The stuff you were going for, the stuff that you got that you weren't going for, the little magic moments that we talk about all the time. You know,
this is one of those movies that look better on paper.
Yeah.
And it could have used with more effect. Yeah, no, on
reading
paper,
it. I'll bet reading it, the script was probably like, wow, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, actually, and everyone here was like that.
Yeah.
Everyone during the script read through were like, hell yeah, let's fucking do this.
And I think, and I don't know if I have any like comment on how you could have gotten it there.
More time. More time.
But
even on Street Toughs, it felt like we kind of...
It feels rushed. It always does.
But Street Toughs, I felt that maybe with Street Toughs we had a little bit better actors.
Sure.
Like,
some of the people that we had in there were a little more solid.
Because a lot of this, and once again...
first timers, right?
Yeah. And then a lot of this also was like...
I like this scene. This is one of the, I thought it was fun. You get a little fucking strobe light up there. He's got the little switch on the dash. The Mustang was a cool touch.
Yeah, that's Connor's car.
Connor's car.
That's Connor's car.
Yeah, it was fun to see that. It was like, oh yeah, okay. And then
he's tapping the badge on the car as he's going up. I thought that was a cool touch and didn't come off quite as much as I wanted it to. Like a dick thing where he's like just kind of slapping the badge on the car. Yeah.
Who's this guy?
This is the guy I worked with, and him being a first timer, he was awesome.
Dude, he's fucking like super cool.
And I remember
he was really fun to watch.
And after we filmed with him, Casey was like, it's nice to know you got like a good actor in here for once.
Yeah, and
because it's a half shot in this movie, half are good and half are bad.
But so as like a project leap, right? Going to the next one. Like, I would like to see this guy.
Take all the cool parts from this movie.
Take all the good stuff that we can find in here.
Cut the fat, take the muscle, and push it into the next one.
Exactly, and even if it's similarly toned movie wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a totally 100% fresh story. Even if you took some of the elements.
Well, I ain't doing a horror movie again.
No, and you were at so like way off topic. That was funny, by the way. He's like snapping the fucking holster. He's like, "Look here, motherfucker! Open the trunk."
Yeah, pop the trunk. Let's take a look. It's like whoa.
So your cop buddy, he didn't come in until way later, I presume.
No, everyone was cast.
Everyone was cast already,
except for like the last minute.
So did he help you with any of the police interaction dialogue? Like,
no.
What would he say?
No, and he didn't say, and I thought he would like give me some more feedback.
Maybe he was afraid to. Like, he didn't feel like it was his place.
Well, I mean, like...
Because I know, like, on the first time I was on a movie with you, I didn't feel like I should say anything about certain things. Because, like, that's not my shit. Like, that's not me.
And there's a... So that's supposed to be the Marine that shows up later. He's already in the trunk. So, like, what I was going for here with the beginning of the movie is, like, the cop is, like, a despicable motherfucker, right? He's a piece of shit. And he's gonna fucking play some games with somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And then Kenny was supposed to be, like, a nice guy, kind of like, hey, I'm being cooperative. And you're supposed to feel like this cop is going to get over on this dude.
And then, boop.
Right, and then instead, a shitty person walks into an even shittier, or like a bad person, even worse kind of guy
bad
situation.
Person, worse situation.
Right, and that's what I was going for.
And he gets kind of what he deserves.
Right.
At least you feel that way.
Right. What do you think? Like, I did the same thing like I did with God's Salt.
I like, so these, I don't know what you, this stock footage, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Like, I like it because it's fun. And I think it works so well for this type of film, like just like it did with God's Salt.
God's Salt was a witchcraft kind of silent movie.
Oh, this is weird, like this kind of stuff. And then, you know, if I can spoil
Look at it here, hold on, wait. So this is from Nosferatu, right?
Right.
And this is where he pops up. And then I put this credit in here with Dakota Kimes as Detective Boop, right? Okay. You did see Dakota in this movie other than as Detective Boop, right? You didn't. You didn't.
I might not have realized it.
No, I guess not.
Was he?
He was ugly.
Okay, he was ugly. Okay.
Did they even say ugly in the movie?
Yeah, it says ugly. I think it.
Because the three vampires are handsome, sister, and ugly.
And then father.
And then father.
Yeah.
Which, you know him, right?
Yeah. So I don't want to like spoil like towards the end, but. Because we're talking about the movie.
Right, we're talking and we're watching. That
last section, so in the end credits, or the post-credit scene, or mid-credit, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the fire.
Before the fire.
Okay.
When they're like telling the backstory. Maybe it was like intermixed with the very last scene of the movie.
Oh, with the Marine. Oh, no. Oh, with,
when they're like
with Darrell.
Darrell Easley.
No, there was supposed to be a post-credit scene with him.
Okay, so that part where you had like the throwback history stuff, where you're mimicking this style, I liked that. I thought that was fun. It, like,
everyone liked that.
It ties the front to the back with this kind of stuff. So
and there was supposed to be another post-credit scene where Ugly takes his bride to meet Father. And we can go over that when we get there. Sure. What do you think of all this, like, drone footage? Like, it's gorgeous, right? Yeah, it's legit.
Like, you guys took this?
Yeah.
I think it's
right
cool.
At the front, too, where the trees come up through the sky as the sun's going down.
I like it, man. This is a level of production that we don't usually have. You know, and I think taking that and working it a little bit, making it a little smoother transition... Maybe feeding the footage into the next scene a little better. Like that cut from the aerial footage down to the ground level, a little abrupt. I would have preferred, and this is my direct.
Well, Casey. Well, I mean, on top of that, I would have preferred
to
I didn't script any.
Kind of crane down.
I didn't script any. Right. Casey was just fucking around.
Doing shit.
So it's like, let's use what looks good.
B-roll into what actually was going to get shot. Which is
So
cool.
then I had to go back and fit that other footage into it.
Now seeing that, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
If you had gone aerial footage, and then I really like when the camera goes, and it points straight down after it's like the wide angle, and then it like does this weird flicker cut to point down to a straight down bird's eye. It would have been really sweet to have it kind of come down and.
Well, you see how that's kind of like the end of the movie, right? Where the cars are left there.
Sure.
It's not quite as obvious as I was hoping it would be.
It's a seamless shot almost. Like, that would be fucking cool. This is probably the hardest part of the movie for me to watch.
I'm sure for everybody. Like, I'm sitting there watching it, and it's like...
I can feel your writing in the dialogue. Because I'm familiar with it.
Right.
But the delivery is... It's choppy. It doesn't...
Oh, yeah, I'm in this scene, too, aren't I? This is so fucked.
Are you?
Yeah, no, so some of these jokes people didn't laugh at and some people did. So some people laughed at ones that I didn't think anyone would laugh at.
Sure.
But I mean, like, she's calling up Faith and the cell phone drops on her head. And she's like, if you weren't blowing dudes at weddings, you know, that shit wouldn't happen. And she's like, oh, ha, ha, fuck you. And then it turns out she's blowing a dude in the parking lot of church at a wedding. You know, her head pops up out of the driver's seat.
Right.
See, like, and then it pulls back. Obvious. It's not super obvious because the scene goes on for way too long.
Sure.
You know, because they're talking, and
I
then
feel what you were trying to do. You're trying to build the characters up a little bit, like, you know, these chicks are friends.
Well,
this chick is kind of a slut.
the obvious horror tropes from the 80s.
Sure, and I felt that, but I felt like it was too long. Or it could have been spread out, like this one scene back and forth. It made it hard to want to sit through it because it was like,
it wasn't bouncy like I wanted it to be. Like it's
well, and I think and the speed of the dialogue could have been better.
And another problem is like, you know, we're filming scene by scene and actor by actor, so she hangs up the phone and then there I am. But there was more dialogue there. I cut it out because I just I don't need me in there. And then my pants are down around my ankles. And then 2 minutes later, a whole bunch of people show up at this actual church parking lot.
And your pants are around your
ankles? No, we got it done by then. But yeah, like we went to the church to really shoot it.
That's great.
So yeah, like, you know, we got all this, and you know, suddenly Robert Simpson here is not the original actor in a scene that we shot all the other scenes of the original actor.
Right.
So, like, he's talking to Ian, but we had to cut in Robert, so, like, you know, the problems that came up kind of also fucking slows us down. That's a out of focus fucking shot. Is that
a cheater?
What? That was really, we really had them together for that. That's, like, the only scene we have them together. They're both there, though.
Right.
But, like, it's sunny this day. It's overcast this day, and it's windy as fuck. And it's just like, once the shit starts to roll downhill, you know what I mean? It keeps going. It doesn't quit. So,
to be honest with you, dude, it didn't look awful. That doesn't look awful to me.
Right.
Like, casual watching, not trying to destroy it.
Right.
That's believable enough for me.
Right.
Like, now that you say that, I kind of noticed the scenes with that guy. Mm-hmm. What's his name?
So not him, but him. Robert.
So Robert and Ian?
No, Robert took over for Ian.
Okay, who's
and
this
that's guy? Jesse.
So the scenes with...
Like, here's another...
Where you're cutting back and forth, it's not super obvious until you said something. I'm like, okay, I kind of see, like, a lighting difference.
See, well, it sucks because Ian kept fucking shotgunning PBRs.
So he was fucked up.
No, it wasn't necessarily fucked up, but like he's like, well, what if I, you know, do this? And so he would do it with just his finger. He would shotgun it, just his finger, and he kept doing it. And I thought it was funny. So every time it's like we got an opportunity. I mean, he wasn't getting drunk off of PBRs,
right?
But like, it was a cool added thing that we were able to do where he keeps shotgunning these PBRs over and over again,
right? But it's not.
And then we lose it because he was a fucking douchebag.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to say it. So if someone if they listen to this,
you know what? Dude's being a douchebag. He's being a douchebag. Fucking douchebag.
So
I noticed you put that in there.
What?
Fucking douchebag.
Oh no, not just scumbag.
Was it scumbag?
Scumbag for the callback from Street Toughs.
Street Toughs, yeah.
Where Cheyenne was like, "Call me a fucking scumbag. You fucking scumbag. Scumbag me, scumbag." Ashley says it in this line. Yeah. I like to call back my lines.
Sure.
You know, what are you going to do?
I like when I can pick them out. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. That's a good one.
Well, you know, I like the stumbling when like, you know, I don't know where I've seen it before, but where someone, you know, is like, two people could be like, fuck you, right? And then someone will call somebody a real, like, lame fucking, like, you know, you're a scumbag.
And it just, like, takes them off guard.
No! you scumbag! Fucking, you know, and then it's like, they lost the upper hand.
So I kind of liked his character.
Jesse.
Kind of a Jesse.
You know, I like Jesse a lot,
kind of
but
goofy.
He gave me better takes when we weren't filming, when we were rehearsing.
Really?
And then we turned the camera on.
He just got
and started mumbling.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens a lot is when I want to say it might have been this one, but I want to say maybe during Street Toughs too, where they have the script and then they're like, no, I think it was this, and they're like dicking around, going real over the top with the line, and they just think they're joking, and it's like, that's what I want. Yeah. Do that. So, like, you know, we got...
I think something that might help with that when we're making the film is...
Well, that's why I try to do... That's why
the fucking camera all
Yeah,
the
no,
time.
That's what I try to do.
And now if, you know, I say now, if we can have Casey come back for the next project, do the DP thing, and be like, look, fucking, I don't care how much film you got to roll, just do it.
No, there was no problem with Casey and film. I mean, it's digital.
No,
it's digital.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't do it. I'm just
saying.
Well,
the only problem with that is if we're rolling and we get a good cut and we got two people in the scene, one person's kind of dicking around, you're not getting the reaction from the other person.
And that's where multiples would be helpful.
Because I did that early on when me and Patrick and Eric, his brother, were doing stuff. Is like I know that I would get a good take on the rehearse, like let's rehearse this, so I would film it.
Right.
But then you wouldn't get any reactions from the person who's not talking. They just kind of looking. But you know,
trying to film both at the same time, or
no, you're just filming them in a master. They're both in there, and it's like, okay, go, and it's like I'm secretly recording it,
right?
Because
the other person's not acting,
right? Because they're not necessarily, the pressure isn't on to get it, so they're able to roll through the lines and do something. Now this scene right here. Like, these are all, like, fun scenes, and I'm trying to set up these people, and like, oh, they're the cutesy little kids, they're having fun, they're doing their thing. So when the time comes to just slaughter them, it's like, oh my God! And we lost a big thing with Jessica when she decided to tell me that I ruined her life with the movie, and I told her to go. She stops being in the movie in the middle chunk of this.
Right.
She disappears, and then comes back later.
Which one is that?
Her.
That's Jessica.
That's Jessica. So she's supposed to be like having this moment with Alexis's character, the hooker, where she's like, you know, it sucks because, you know, me and my sister are fighting and like things are going on and like, you know, me and homeboy are, you know, we're going to get married and have family and we're doing the college thing and I might not have these moments with my sister.
Right.
And then Alexis would be like, no, you'll have time, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then she's kind of like, well, maybe not. And then she's like pregnant. I mean, you get the line at the end where she's like, oh, she tasted like she had a baby inside her, blah, 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 blah. But you don't get the feels from Jessica.
I see you trying to make that up.
The pregnant stuff.
The pregnant stuff with other added dialogue maybe.
In the front there was some where she's like, why were you in the bathroom so long? Were you pregnant? And she's like, you can sit up front, you know, kind of cut her off. So like we lose that when Jessica left, and we lost a bunch of dialogue that would have set up those moments, those feels moments. So I was just like, okay, you know, a lot, you know, and Jesse who came on with Ian, and Ian who fucked off the one time and ruined everything. Like, Jesse was a trooper to come back and
just finish
not being my friend.
And not be a douche about it.
Right. He was all for helping out with the movie.
He looked like he had fun, though. Like, he looked like he had fun doing it.
He's a good guy, and he likes all the same shit that we like, all the same cool shit.
He looks like, not to say anything, but, like, we could probably, like, groom him into replacing Robert. If we couldn't get Robert for Get Fiasco, I know it's not the same dude.
The only problem with Jesse is he's hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Which was the problem, and still is the problem with Robert Grant, not Simpson here. So, like, I mean, I guess he could still be the replacement.
But just like the way...
Did we already see the scene where the guy walks up past her? No, he hasn't yet. It comes up. It's so fucking funny. Because there's like a bum guy. Or did it happen already? I want to say when they're shooting out the window. And see, Jessica was supposed to be in this scene too.
And then she's in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, she's in the store getting like tampons for the sister.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's the excuse, but so, and fucking Ashley can't drive stick. So, like it's me driving it when it's moving, and a little bit later it's me driving it. You might even be able to see me if I wasn't able to crop it out. Yeah. And like all this stuff I had to film differently. Like all of Madison's lines in the back of the car, I had to film over at her house because she had like an asthma attack the day that I needed her. You know, and like there was a lot going on, and Alex was actually supposed to play that part. Alejandro, Alex.
Okay.
He came on, and I filmed a day with him out in the woods, and then he went to the hospital because he's got health problems. Right. So Robert Simpson here is my third actor in this role. So like, wow. You know, like all this stuff, because we were supposed to go and film this day with Alex and with Madison and Jess and with, you know, and it's like, okay, Alex is in the hospital, so we can't film today. Let's push it. I need to find somebody else.
Yeah.
And Robert hit me up right away. And Ryan, the other guy that plays the cop, he hit me up like right after him. So I had reserves.
Sure.
So like I was able to bounce back from all of the problems that I had.
A lot of times you have problems like that, and we have had problems.
Street Toughs, we weren't bouncing back as quickly.
No,
we did our thing,
tough.
but
that was tough. We had a hard time getting shit handled, and like it was a lot of very last ditch effort.
Like
stuff.
in Street Toughs, I think we could have made Street Toughs now and get more people
and get a better outcome.
There's a bigger community of actors now, and a bigger way to get to these actors.
Sure.
And I hit up and talked to and got a lot of responses for a lot of people. Like casting her, I got a lot of people that I talked to before I ultimately got her. She was the one that was super like into wanting to do something. And Madison I wrote that part for Iris.
Right, I could see that.
And I wrote Jessica's role for Kelly.
Right.
And you know what? Like, I told Kelly, like, hey, look, I don't know how you feel about me anymore. Like, if we're still friends. Or if, you know, but I wrote this movie and I want to do it. Like, you know, don't say no right away. Just hear me out. Let's talk and meet. And she's like, okay, let's do it. So I was like, whoa. That's like, I thought it was going to be a no, regardless.
Like a hard no.
But it was still a no. She just wanted to catch up.
Fair enough.
Because she's trying to be a teacher, and I guess, like, someone hit God salt or something like that, and it didn't look too good.
It's a movie.
Yeah, I know. It's a movie. And I don't think there's anything bad in God salt. Or any of the other stuff that she did.
Yeah, there was some stuff that looks bad on her.
It's not like she's, well...
When Patrick is railing her in the bathroom, that looks pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's so fake. It's so
obviously fake, but that's not the point. The point is what it looks like, not what it is.
But yeah, so I was going for Kelly and Iris, older sister, little sister.
Which would have been great.
But...
Because they look a lot alike, too.
Yeah, but Iris kept saying no.
Yeah.
And so Jessica reached out, and one of her friends was like, hey, I know a 16-year-old girl. She would be great to play, you know, with Jessica.
Sure.
So I got her, and she's in the movie.
There you go.
And
it's hard to find age-appropriate actors like that.
Well, I wouldn't have written the movie if I didn't think that, because I was playing Hero Clicks with Connor and Berea, like, every week.
So you thought you could get...
Right, I thought it was a shoo-in. And I thought, like, we're going to get the gang back together. Right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite that way. A lot of this I kind of didn't get how I wanted. Like, so she's like, she's charging her phone and then it comes undone, right? And she gets all shitty and runs off into the woods, right? That's why. Like, I think a lot of it gets lost in like, oh, we're in the car talking. Right. Like, and they're talking dirty, and Dakota's like, I don't even talk like that with my friends. Like, why are these chicks talking so dirty? And I think it's funny, and it's flipping the script, right?
Sure.
Of course, dudes are talking about chicks that they want to bang and who's hot and who's not. So I'm like, I always do that. The chicks are the ones that are doing it. The chicks are being strong and assertive females.
Right.
Like everyone in this fucking movie. The lead character is a female. The lead villain is a female.
I don't know I'd call her the lead villain.
She's got like the second most lines, even though she doesn't show up until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously Ugly is the lead villain.
Sure.
But he's got no lines.
Right. Well, what about, I mean...
The three of them together,
the three of them.
It's that family.
Right.
But, like, I wrote Sister with the best lines. I gave her the best lines, and I didn't... And that wasn't the original actress I had in mind either.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Genesis.
Right.
And then she found out that Ashley was in the movie, and suddenly she was like, no thanks.
When they wouldn't have even been in the room for more than about a day together.
And if that, because Kenny wasn't there to film that wedding scene.
Yeah, that was that one scene.
Right.
In the house in the wedding where they're actually together.
Yeah.
Very little interaction.
Very little interaction. But she didn't do it, so I got somebody else, and I was searching around to find whoever I could in there. And Michaela hit me up.
And it's really too bad that I like the way she looks. Like the way she looks on film.
Mm-hmm. But the acting isn't so strong.
Right. And I think, if she wants if she wants to be that, if she wants to do more of that, she could work on it and get better.
I think she was more focused on exposure.
Sure.
Than what was needed. Like, she seemed like she was looking for exposure for her life and her person, trying to sell her brand of who she is.
Sure.
So
I don't know. She looked really cool on film.
Right.
And flat.
Yeah. She hadn't acted before.
Sure. And that's not the end all.
So now when you're watching this movie, so Alexis, do you think she's just a hooker, or are you starting to think that there's something else going on?
About this point, when she starts turning them down, I'm going, yeah, probably not a real hooker.
Like she doesn't want to fuck him because he keeps like...
He's like, so, and she's like, look, come off, dude, you're not interested.
Well, because she's also saying like, oh, I'm kind of not a hooker, kind of am a hooker, kind of thing going on.
I was trying to figure out what her angle was, because I knew that it was kind of a monster movie.
And a Mathew Bonta film.
I'm thinking, okay, maybe
she's a bad guy.
Maybe she's a vampire hunter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my first thought was. Maybe she's like after what they're finding. Because she's real assertive and real assured of herself. By the time they get to the woods, and she's like, look, I'm going to help you guys find this little girl. And I'm like, okay, maybe she knows. And she's like sending people away. And I'm like, okay, this is like some supernatural feeling shit where she's going to, oh, what did you guys go hide out back at the house? And then she fucking gets out a katana and whips everybody's ass. I kind of felt like it was headed in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it's like take a real world situation and throw some supernatural shit in.
Yeah.
So she's actually just trying to bust the bad cop.
And I think that that's not a dead giveaway until right up to the end when she basically says it out loud. Like, it feels like she just wants to... Like, maybe she's playing hooker, but for what reason we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as, like, obscuring the reality of the character for as long as possible, fucking A+.
Thank you.
Because that doesn't happen very often. Usually, you would pick that out way early on in a movie. You're going to go, oh, yeah, that's the fucking, like, Supernatural. Like, I love that show. Usually, they're a little too on the nose with, whoever is going to be the monster that's hiding out in reality. That's a little too easy
That's
sometimes.
me driving the car right there. Since Ashley doesn't know how. If you
You're
really
not
look,
looking
you can
at-
see that I'm wearing a hat when I look this way.
I did see that you're wearing a hat.
Okay, so here comes Wes's.
He was better this time.
You're doomed.
He was better this time.
This is the very much the old crazy coot.
You're him.
You're him. I should have had him say that when it stops. I was like, what? No, but
Might be more fun if he was blind too.
Oh yeah. Well, like he's supposed to be, like. Once again, it was like, let's get there, let's film their scenes so that we can fit. The sun's going down. Wes is doing this from all the way out from where he lives to all the way here, to all the way here at Hallelujah Junction.
Would have made his lines funnier too.
But like he's supposed to be like laying in a chair with the beer and just kind of like, you go in there, man, and you're dead. And he's just supposed to be like totally fucking drunk and out of it.
Yeah.
But instead, he's just kind of crouching. Yeah, you like that drone footage? More drone footage?
It's fun. I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, Casey would shoot up here an hour before we got there to just get some shit.
Nice. I think he did a great job.
One time we showed up, it's like, where is he? Where is he?
He's
got the camera. Like, what are you supposed to do anything? I've got this shot with 2 other people, man. All this stuff I shot with Alex. Wow. And I shot with Ian.
Jeez.
So, like, I've got a couple takes. Like, I want to do a DVD and put those deleted scenes in the special features situation. as well as the blooper
probably...
reel. Did you watch the blooper reel?
I didn't.
Okay.
Is that on?
It's on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. But I've also got Ian's blooper reel stuff where it's like he does like 8 different beers. Right back to back to back. Like, look, all this is good and all this was fun. Like, I get the wide shots that I should have gotten. I get their heads in the scene rather than just a head in the scene.
Right.
You know, and she's yelling, like, she's like, I'm, you know, what are you, some kind of weekend warrior? She's like, not exactly, you know. She pushes past Ian. That's why it cuts to that. And that's Ian there. You know, she looked very assertive, grabs the flashlight. She's like, what the fuck?
And it's absurd because he's like...
And he grabs his dick. He's a weekend warrior indeed. My week has just begun. And he's shaking his head to Ian.
Right.
The coloring is a little off.
Yeah,
it's very bright here.
Colors. Bright and dark, back and forth a little bit.
So, like, you know. And I've got this stuff with a couple different actors with Ashley. So, you know. All this was fun. And, like, there's a joke that I threw in here about, like, a priest and a nun. And they're, like, in the desert and the camel dies. And the priest is like, you know, like, if I put, like, my dick in the right spot, it can create life. And the nun's like, well, why don't you put it into that camel and we can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So,
like, he's kind of says that to her, and she's like, why don't you fucking stick your dick in this phone and, you know, get it working, whatever she says to him. So that's what that is. You know, and, like, in the car with Jessica, she's like, oh man, I'm gonna fuck him, you know, his dick is mine. And then here, when he's all over her, now she's like, ew.
Well, I think it's that, I don't know, that character building that you did early on where Jessica's character was like, oh yeah, fucking, she's not into you, you're fucking, she's...
Right, yeah, she's like, I'm not getting her for you.
Yeah.
She don't like you.
Yeah.
Girls talk.
And he's like, oh, well, fucking whatever. And then...
I'm still gonna try.
Yeah. And then when it comes down to it, she's the one that fucking wants him just as bad as he wants her.
Right.
So it's a game.
It's a game. Yeah. It's total game, and it's so fun.
It was kind of fun to watch.
Almost wish it wasn't in the horror movie. It could just be a movie about them. Kind of a fucking romantic comedy. But he's so vulgar. And she's so vulgar. And I know probably the vulgarness turned people off a little bit. I know it turned off Rose a little bit. She didn't like all the sex talk in the movie.
Sure. It's hard for some people to...
This looks so much better. Like, this is not the version that I showed in Vegas.
Yeah.
This is the version that after seeing Vegas, I was like, Greg, let's go and fucking clean up the sound, clean up the color, and tighten it up as much as we can. I lost like maybe 50 seconds.
Sure. And I don't think, dude, this thing could have been, I mean, how long is it?
An hour and 31 minutes.
So what is that,
91.
91?
I mean, I could have dumped another 4.
Yeah.
But there wasn't 4 to dump. It was tight as it is.
Not, yeah. I
like,
mean, if you would have
the stuff that we didn't shoot.
More, you would have started losing actual...
It would go too fast. It would go too fast. And I know it goes slow here anyways.
Some parts are slow, but you have to be slow sometimes. I don't know. I think...
Like, I wanted that opening...
It's slow in the right places, but it's a little slow in the wrong places.
Sure. No, I know. I just... Yeah, no, watching it, I'm like, this is going on
This scene
so
right
long.
here. I love him talking to himself. What's that thing that they told us to do in the Boy Scouts? That's right.
No, they're probably more afraid of us than we are them.
Right, the coyotes, yeah.
And this I had to rewrite because it's supposed to be Jessica and him talking. They're supposed to be talking here. And he's like, you know, like they hear a thing and she's like, you know, she's like, oh, we're probably going to get eaten by coyotes. He's like, no. They're probably more afraid of us than we are of them.
But I think the one-sided dialogue works really well. Like, if I had known that was intended...
Yeah, no, it's fun.
This is fun.
No, it's fun. It's fun and
this
funny.
Is like, oh yeah, cool. And it kind of gives... It, like, plays a little better on that, like, goober character that he is.
This was one of the last days, I think.
It gives him a chance to be kind of goofy.
Right. But Jess is supposed to be in here and getting all pissy at him.
Right.
And then having her moment with her. And, you know, Steve, who Jesse plays, fucking, like, gets lost going back to the car. And we see what happens to him.
Right.
Were there any surprises in this? Was there any kind of twists that kind of gotcha that you didn't see coming? Like the movie in my mind, I saw it as like a slasher film with a vampire in the woods, and it didn't really become that because only 2 characters die in the woods, and then you still have everyone else alive, and they pretty much make it to the end. Look at this fun stuff.
Yeah, that was interesting. What was that?
There's a dog.
Okay.
Like, what did I use to make the dog? It was a stuffed animal dog.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because like
and
film-wise,
we threw guts in there.
Film-wise, it didn't look too bad.
What was that? I think those were animal guts that I found, like a liver. I found at Sack and Save.
Some animal guts from the grocery store?
Yeah, because people eat like fucking cow liver, cow kidney. Yeah. Mexicans, obviously, if it's at Sack and Save has the weird shit. Like the Asian stores and the Mexican stores.
Yep, they have the nasty shit.
Because they like to eat tripe and fucking tongue and everything.
About the closest thing you can find that looks like guts without making it.
Making guts. Yeah. And I wish I had you to make some guts. I could have used you to do my effects on this movie, Corey. Because there was another guy I was trying to get, and after he read the script, he was like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it sucked. It was the guy I was supposed to get for something else. I don't remember what it was.
You were doing some stuff, and you came over to the house to get something. And you said, there's something I might want to have you do. And I said, dude, I don't mind building stuff for you. I will make stuff for you. On this film, I do brand new fucking baby on the way, all that shit going on, and not have time to be your fucking number 2.
I know.
And I would have gladly made things for you for the movie to hand off and be like, here you go, do what you want with it.
Yeah, but like it just...
Or to be on set one day or whatever, but...
It just got to the point where it's easier if I do it myself.
Started moving fast.
Because it's like I can do it on my schedule rather than have to do it on yours or my sister. Because my sister was supposed to be on point too, but she worked the days that I shot.
Right.
So like she made the dog kind of, right? I added the guts to it. She made the head,
which wasn't bad.
But she cut it the wrong way.
Did she?
I told her how I wanted it cut.
Right.
And she cut it the wrong way. So I had to fix it.
Yeah.
Once again, we're dealing with badges. Were there badges in God Salt?
God Salt, yes.
Or maybe I'm just thinking of this movie. Because there's badges all over this movie.
There was no... I don't think there were any badges in... Yeah, there was one badge in Street Toughs.
Alright, so here's where we see Ugly for the first time. So what was it like for you seeing this?
I was like, okay...
So he's eating the dog's head.
Now, who is that?
That's Dakota.
That's Dakota.
That's okay. Dakota.
Now, is that just like a latex mask, or is that an appliance that you guys did, or?
It's a little bit of both. It's a mask, but it's form-fitting. Because my sister and I went over, so Shania, not Jessica, went over to Dakota's house to try and do a makeup like that.
Okay.
And it wasn't working. It was taking too long, and it wasn't looking that good. And so I had my demon half head from from Street Meets Pavement that I wore when Cheese is tripping out and he sees the demon and kills his wife. And I put that on. I cut the horns off and put it on Dakota, and I'm like, oh shit. This will be much easier if we just fucking have this form-fitting thing.
Right.
So I went online and found a Nosferatu type mask, and that's what that is, and it just fit right onto his head.
And it looks good.
Snug under his chin, and then we just slapped blood over the part that was exposed.
Right.
And I wanted him to have white contacts, but he can't wear contacts. Yeah. And like this stuff was shot at a different time, obviously not super dark like on Dakota's scenes. So, like, was he creepy enough, or what? Was he...
To me, it's interesting in the obscurity of the camera work. It's not overly obvious.
That... what he is?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious what he is once he comes out. And I guess maybe on my TV it just looked darker.
And it sucks because, like, when you're editing it, it looks fine.
Right.
And then when you render it and then you're watching the video, it's super dark.
Yeah.
So we had to adjust to the point to where when it rendered, it was as best as we could.
Right.
So this is where she's like, look, you go back to the car, you find your girlfriend.
Right.
I'm going to push on forward. Because I think they just heard a gunshot. Because now they're dicking around with the guns.
Gun. Yeah.
And that was another one of those fun scenes. Like this, this is the cutesy scene where they're like, "Oh hey,
I'm gonna show you how to shoot the gun."
Right, I'm gonna show you how to shoot the gun, and she
was that the blank? One of the blank guns, or no?
No, all those blank bullets, rusted.
Really?
I mean, they've been sitting in my trunk since 2016.
Wow.
So they all rusted up. Like, this is the Jericho. That's the baby desert, or baby eagle. Obviously, he's not really shooting the gun. So, you put the real gunshot sound effects. And, I throw the social justice warrior shit that we live with nowadays, where she's like, "You're so gay."
Yeah. He's like, "You can't say that."
This guy manages a gay bar in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he gay?
I don't think he is.
Huh.
But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not judging.
I don't care either way. I just think it's funny when people that are gay play something that's clearly not gay.
Right.
And then it would be like, "Oh, I'm not gay, you're gay."
Yeah, I don't think he is. But, he does run a gay bar. He runs Carl's Saloon.
Never heard of it.
Sure you haven't, Corey.
Yeah.
You're like, Carl's, maybe I'll check it out one of these days. Yeah, no, this, where she fucking shoots the gun, and then, she snuggles her ass into his crotch. I love that so much. I mean, I wrote that into the script, but
sure.
I was like, that's the thing.
He's like, "Yeah, no, we could do this."
No, he's adjusting his boner is what he's doing.
Sure.
So
get pointed in the right direction. I was in high school once.
So it's so funny. I love it so much. But then it's like, also right now is when we've got the scary things going on.
Right.
What do you think of the soundtrack?
I thought it was good.
It was a good soundtrack.
I thought way better than some of the stuff that we've had before.
And some of it's
interesting.
Sam did some original songs for this movie.
Yeah. Nice.
Once again, this is different time of the day. She's in the part of the forest where the sun's still out. And she's not reacting here, which I didn't notice when we were filming it.
Yeah.
She's just kind of staring off when he's saying whatever he's saying. I love all this stuff. So everything with Robert here in the forest, Greg shot. Greg was my DP on this with Casey's camera.
Right.
And that's Alex. Because I didn't have Casey's car. I didn't have Casey's car because Casey's car, I know. Casey's car and my car are right next to each other. But I didn't have Casey's car because I couldn't have Casey that night. I had Greg. So we only shot that direction because didn't have his car.
Right.
Once again, like you said, not obvious. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, unless you say something, it doesn't matter.
It's a real look from her because he wasn't supposed to chug it. He was just in chugging mode for the character.
Right.
And she gives him a look because they were supposed to cheers. And then I was going to do a take of them drinking, but she was just I was like, fucking, let's go with it. I love all this dialogue. Let's listen to this dialogue real quick. So she's shaking and nervous. And they're falling in love. Oh, and then the soundtrack kicks in. And then they fall, they collapse into each other's arms.
Hey, Trevor.
Steve.
Your lunch, Bubba.
Did you hear something?
No.
He rips his head in half.
That's fun. I like that. It looked gross.
We could have used an extra hand on that day.
Yeah.
And it was getting dark.
Obviously not at this point.
And she finds...
Which car is this?
This is the cop's car.
Oh, okay.
And that's her phone, even though she didn't drop it there. She dropped it on her on the floor on her seat on the passenger side.
Right.
But, you do what you gotta do to get the point across.
The other guy moved the car, too.
Move the car, move the body, move shit around, look
Right.
for stuff. Anything could have gotten moved around.
I like that she found a gun in there. Like, cause I think that blew past me.
Where she finds the gun?
I saw her find the gun, but it kind of blew past me that it was in his car.
The cop's car.
In the cop's car, I was like, how the fuck? Who has a gun?
The ear.
She make that out of?
Hold on. So that's me doing that, ripping the head on a different day than when we had Dakota. So it was a mannequin head with a human mask on it.
Oh, okay.
Why? Is your pussy swelling?
Is your pussy swelling?
So she's all about getting it, but then suddenly he's not able to perform.
It's Steve.
I love this stuff. This stuff is so
I kind
quick.
of missed that with the head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
No, there was some quick lines here, some quick snappy dialogue. Like, here, hold on. It's coming.
Where's that tequila?
So then the hand's waving him over. It's like, come over here.
He wants me to come.
He's not the only one. The moment has passed, but he
So he wants me to come, and she's like,
Yeah.
you had your
You
chance.
fucking missed it.
Yeah, no, he's not the only one that wants you to come, but, like, I love that dialogue. Like, I loved the interaction between these two and the quick, snappy dialogue. And then he walks over. The arm comes off. You can't really see, but it falls so quick, so it's like, okay. And then she's like fixing herself. And she does another thing. Oh, she buttons up her pants. She's buttoning up her pants. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you did you see him pull him up right there?
No, it's too quick.
You're not getting another one. You fuck boy. You're such a fucking scumbag.
Fucking scumbag. And then she fucking puts her feet up.
Come on, guys.
And Casey's like, I hate it when fucking people do that. Which is exactly why I did it, because that's that obnoxious fucking, like, who the fuck do you think you are? And then the head splashes onto the...
What the fuck?
Like, this is where the movie really starts kicking into gear.
And this is what I was going to mention earlier. Is like, at the very beginning, it felt like kind of a little too slow.
And then it feels too fast.
And then it was like, oh, okay, now I feel like we're in a big fat hurry. From this point to the end, I think we probably got, 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left?
Could be.
Because I tried to make mental note of that. This was funny. He's like...
Well, he's got hypnotic powers.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so then she locks eyes.
Is that a bow? Was it?
It's a window scraper.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna stab him with the window scraper.
Yeah, he's got the hypnotic eyes. And then he's like, come on.
He did a good job with the handwork there. Come to me, biatch. Come to me.
And then Greg changed the effects that I had on here. I think he did a better job than what I did. Because I didn't know what to do. I just know that I wanted it, like
you start
haunting.
seeing some trailing and some, whatever they want to call it. Like ghosting.
Mm-hmm. I wanted this to be like a dance. It didn't quite turn out to be like, it was a huge, like the whole page was just blocking of what I wanted. But like, I feel under pressure from everyone because at this point,
Been out there forever.
And Ashley hadn't done anything, and she's like, it's almost midnight, and it's like, okay, let's cut the other shit and just go straight to their stuff.
Good screen though. I was good with that.
All right, this is the Marine and the cop in the car at this point where she finds them, and I love where he just pops out of the car, like he's sleeping in the car because the sun came up.
Right, sleeping in the trunk. That's what you're gonna do.
Because he's a vampire.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, these guys again.
Well, when you see him again, it's like, okay, this is like double weird. You start putting it together. Fucking saps her on the fucking melon. It's like, alright, biatch.
And in the script, he takes him out and throws him back into the trunk.
Gotcha.
And she drops her bracelet. Like, there's a big to-do about the bracelet. She's like, I went back to get my thing, my bracelet.
Right, and I remember that, and there's a little bit...
And then she was supposed to drop it here, and he's supposed to pick it up, and like, or it catches on something of his, and then when he sits back into the car and drives away, it falls onto the seat. Right. So there's more with the bracelet, but once it, like, you get those last little paragraphs on a page, and you tend to forget when you're at the end of the night. And she's wandering around the woods.
You have to... shoot something and finish it all in one day.
And it's intense, and it's not intense, but it's crazy at night when, like, we've got, like, our light situation wasn't the best, and we kept trying to do different light things. So I bought a bunch of flashlights and put them on stands, and then I eventually bought the big-ass fucking light stand.
Right.
And it was only good for maybe an hour on the generator that I had. So there's a point where we have the light on, and then it shut off because we ran out.
Cabin footage. Where's that at?
That's me filming some footage off of the computer with my phone.
Oh, okay.
Or with my camera. Like, I just found some stock footage because there's a site with stock footage that you can buy for like $100, and I'm like, I'm just gonna film it and then put it in there. And obviously that's right up front.
Here, yeah.
With the tinfoil on the outside, sure. Not on the inside.
Why not?
See, suddenly Jessica's back.
Well, she's been wandering around in the woods for a long time. You're like, look, I need you to come back. We need to kill you.
Well, of course, we filmed this early on before she.
Okay.
Before she.
So you didn't get the other stuff with her. You filmed this.
Yeah.
At the end first, kind of like we did with Shania.
Shania. Cheyenne?
Cheyenne.
Yeah, no, because we had whoever we had this
Yeah.
day, and we shot with them. And we had them, and we shot, and so that's why this is here. And, like, there's like, we got a lot, like, that's just the lights on the area, like...
See, I like that lighting.
That's Casey just having the camera on and walking, and I was like, that looks cool.
Yeah. Fuck this. And almost gets hit by the car.
And I love this too because, like, he's so friendly. He's Mr. Nice Guy, and he turns it on.
That's what's fun about his character.
Like, she's just like, just stay there, toss me the cell phone. I'll make 911 call real quick.
She's trying to be very 21st century. Look, I don't trust you, but I need your help.
Right.
And he's like, hey, look, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's
like I don't have a
deal.
cell phone. I left it at home.
Come on, I'll fucking help you out. And it's good.
She's so apprehensive. Because he's a vampire. Because he's a vampire. Did you know that he was going to be a vampire? Did you know this was a vampire movie? I think you probably did.
I had an inclination because I had a little bit of inside information.
Right, and the movie poster and everything else. But so there's the bracelet. But did you think he was? What did you think he was?
I thought that he was
from the second when he smashes the dude's head.
So when he has the cop, when he picks the cop up, I'm thinking, because he's saying, I gotta go get, trying to get dinner for my brother.
Yes.
And at that point I had forgotten that it was a quote-unquote vampire movie.
Right, it's a crime film.
I thought it was going to be like crime film, maybe like some kind of sicko slasher, maybe like a axe murderer kind of guy. The fucking Hills Have Eyes kind of shit where, I just pick up some fucking, like Devil's Rejects kind of thing where, and then we're going to eat you, I just thought it was weird and gross, not necessarily monsters, right?
Right.
And then...
Look, this is so good because he flips on the dime. She catches him in something, and he's like, I'm going to run with it. And he could come up with bullshit right on the dot. And she's like, oh, shit. He did see her. Where did she go? And then she thinks, she's like, no, it's too clean.
He's like, whack.
So yeah, okay. So you were thinking that
So I thought that maybe he was like the human
familiar
with whatever, sicko, weirdo, monster, whatever it was going to be, whatever the bad guy was going to be. I thought he was going to be like the human counterpart, where his brother's a vampire and he goes out and picks up things and he takes them home and gives him whatever he gets. Tonight it's a hooker or tomorrow it's a cop, whatever.
Now, did you think she was part of it?
What's this wee shit?
I thought maybe she would be connected somehow, but she looked different enough, and I'm like,
She's just another victim.
Maybe she's another like grouping for victim.
Now, she's wearing Cheyenne's leather jacket from Street Toughs.
Okay.
And then the flag, the four-color demon flag.
It's funny. I didn't even realize the jacket with the sleeve tore off and the fucking sunflower.
The old lady jacket.
Yep.
So obviously they're demons. They're four-color demons.
Sure. Well, that kind of gives a little.
And this has that fun, snappy dialogue too. Like, this is another one of those really funny, like, awesome scenes. Like, and look, they've got the blanket up on obviously the back. They're covering more windows. Look, and she's all flirty with her and shit. She's like,
okay.
She's like, I need a phone.
Yeah, how about the phone?
Use your phone? Oh shit, that's right. Sorry,
Look at the rabbit. He's on all fours right there. That rabbit was originally going to be where the dog was. But I was like, it's too small. See, she's very fucking flirty with her, and like, she's not too bad.
Not awful. Like I said, with some notes and a little bit more.
You didn't drive drunk, did you? You wouldn't tell me though, would you?
And then she fucking like hugs her.
Not even worse than anybody else.
She was supposed to kind of feel her up a little bit more there.
Like someone who likes to party on occasion. Not for nothing, but I kind of came home disappointed. Every place that I went was dead. If you're looking for a good time, I can give you a good time.
Like acting a little stiff there.
A little stiff.
I'd say
Like,
you're looking for a good time. Or maybe
she said the lines.
She said the lines.
But she wasn't delivering the lines.
She doesn't want.
Fine, whatever. Be a bitch.
That should have been faster.
It's dead. Look, you need to. Fuck! It's dead. Yeah.
You're not laughing.
It's funny. It just the disappointment of this character pains me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her when I saw her in the trailer and she like lays her head down on the table. I was like, "That's a fucking cool look. Like that is awesome. That looks like a fun, like outrageous character." And then her delivery it just was a real letdown.
The lines are so snappy. Like, and then she just like, oh, there's a rabbit upside down now. Casey went and he's like,
I didn't even notice that until you said something.
I don't know. Just find one somewhere. There's a lot of holes to fill in this place.
she's like, where's the outlet? I need a phone. It's dead.
What's that?
The cord, this is the wrong cord.
Fuck out. You're in my house, remember? Show some respect.
She's like, fucking turns it on her. She's like so frustrating. And then she gets a little indignant and she's like, whoa, bitch. Back up. And that's Handsome showing up.
Are you expecting company?
The fuck business is it of yours?
It's just, I don't know, people don't usually get visitors this late.
It's not that late. Cheeky poo, sugar high, honey pumpkin. One fucking second. Whoa! What?
You're not just gonna let someone who knocks like that in, are you?
I did for you, didn't I? Don't be sexist.
Just wait, maybe grab something. Do you have a gun?
No, I don't.
See, look, there's a lot of female characters in this. It's a very female-led film.
Like a baseball bat?
It's
Like
like
a
a vampire bat?
I did think that was a funny line. I got enjoyment from that.
Because she's a vampire.
Right.
Stop off my Kool-Aid. 2 seconds ago you're the ice queen. Now all of a sudden you want to cuddle?
See, and then he starts to say his line, like...
No, why do you have her? What the fuck is going on here?
Right here.
On the road on my way home, I just kind of...
And then, yeah, she's like, you don't need to play the act. You know, we're going to take them all.
Worry, I bite.
And that, I had to dub that line because we lost, because the mic wasn't on. Like, I would get so frustrated with Casey when he didn't have the headphones on.
Right.
Like we lost all this dialogue in the fight scene with her and the Marine in the garage.
Right.
Because he didn't have the headphones on, and we didn't know that the mic wasn't plugged in.
This is a nice surprise. You're not usually the one who brings home the strays.
It's been a hell of a night.
To say the least.
I haven't seen you in a couple of days.
Sorry, I lost track of time.
And all this art I had my sister send from Vegas. So my mom brought it all when she came down. So I put all of my sister's paintings. My sister Stephanie. So I got 3 sisters involved and a brother. Like everyone was involved in this fucking movie. And here's Dakota.
Well, fuck
The mask
me.
looks
Looks
good.
like you ate already. You have yourself a little midnight snack, bro?
He's got a bag full of parts.
Get 'em. We got company for dinner.
And he doesn't want to move out of the way because he's got Faith standing outside all zombified.
Giddy up.
The fuck is it?
What's the holdup? Is that a girl? Did you bring a girl home, bro?
Jesus Christ, another?
No.
Like he's brought fucking chicks home before.
This one looks domesticated.
Wait.
I think he likes
And
it.
these lines didn't come off so great either.
OMG, our baby
Like
brother is
I
from
needed
South
them to
America.
be doing the lines in one take. So like here, I'm like, can you guys do these lines? Let's rehearse it real quick.
What's going on in that fucked up head of yours?
We got ourselves a wedding party.
Are we gonna have a wedding?
Well, brother, how does that sound? This is gonna be a dream come true.
Yeah, Dakota was the secret actor in this movie.
Clean up this fucking mess.
It's like, fuck. And then, like, that's the head. You can't really see it, but that's the face poking out. And then here's, like, who's this fucking guy with
Right?
the
It's
mask?
like, wait a fucking minute.
And they're tied up with the fucking,
So who is that?
who?
The Marine.
Like, the person? That's my cop buddy.
Okay.
That's Paul.
So no face though. I don't think you see his face in the whole movie,
No.
and he wanted it that way.
No, that's the way I wrote the character.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, this is obviously in the garage. So, for that day with the wedding scene, which is after this, I took everything out and put it in there and in the garage. And then for the day we shot this scene, it was in reverse. Everything out of the garage into here.
Wow.
And I wrapped it all up in like the Dexter fucking...
Right. The drop cloths,
Yeah.
which I think is a nice touch, kind of fun.
And the cop's back.
Very rippery looking.
Yes. And this is probably the worst acting that she's done in this movie. Is
Yeah.
this stuff right here. Because she kind of
It wasn't feeling it
just...
anymore.
Yeah, I guess not.
Huh.
But she was good in the other stuff where she's like yelling at Jessica. And Jessica was supposed to be in this scene. So he just says like, oh, she just took her out of here. That's why, that's my way to get her out.
Right.
She wasn't necessary. All of her lines, like, this is mostly Alexis's character and his character talking back and forth anyways. It's more about them than anyone else. So you are a hooker. So this is like, oh, she's an undercover cop, hey. And you find out like, oh, she was just trying to bust him. That's why she was so insistent on getting money before doing anything.
Right.
Because then she could bust him. And then he's just like, I ain't playing these games anymore. Fuck off, bitch.
Yeah.
It's basically as if she's talking to Cheese or about Cheese.
Right.
Yeah, so he killed his partner,
She's
or
killed his partner. Didn't he? Early on?
probably multiple times.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and then he just plays dead the entire time and says his lines. And the mask starts coming off. So it looks like that's his mouth right there.
A Marine served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I liked having him there. Like, he's a big fucking dude.
He
Like,
looks fucking huge.
And look at that. Like, this was like a stroke of luck. So we shot this at Mervin's.
You told me that he had.
Yeah,
he had access.
He got us the connection to go shoot at Mervin's, and right out in the parking lot, like there was like a Mexican carnival going on. So yeah, so he's just running around in Mervin's, me, him, and Kenny, just fucking around, seeing what we could do. Like, it was like an awesome fucking day.
It's fun to see somebody on camera that is familiar with guns and is familiar with, searching and how to handle shit properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't look awkward at all. He
Right.
knows what he's doing.
Right.
He obviously has done that before. Right? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
He's obviously handled the fucking weapon before and looked for something.
Mm-hmm. No, it sucks because when I wanted to shoot at Mayberry, right, it was like Thursday, and I asked him, like, what's the protocol? Can we shoot at Mayberry when it gets dark? And he's like, oh, the park shut down at this time. Are you shooting tonight? Because I'm on duty. I'll make sure.
This scene would have been fun with some more, effects.
Yeah, and, I'm like, what can we do? What can we do? I bought the flares beforehand.
Let's
fuck
cool.
around with
Nice
flares.
touch. I like the Uzi. I like the way that looks.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that you...
That's
where you put the silver on there.
Yeah. I don't think it's overdone. I think it's just tasteful. Seriously.
It's classy.
But it would have been fun, looking for me, and he, flashlights up if you just would have went... Brrr.
Oh.
If you could have, had something like that, some
that would have been fucking awesome. Hell yeah, that would have.
And, some more contact or... But, I mean, maybe this shows that he's...
Well, it sucks because, once again, it was me, him, and Kenny.
Sure.
And so I'm running the camera, and I'm setting up the light, and everything else like that.
Have all the ideas and run all the equipment.
Right, and I was hoping that he would give me some ideas.
Sure.
But he didn't give me any ideas. I was like, what can we do? And he's like, anything you want. It's like, okay. Like, what would a cop do in this situation? Do you want to run up the stairs? Do you want to throw someone down the stairs? Like, can we, kick at this post or something? I didn't say any of these things. But I was hoping he would, because, he's obviously been here before to do some training. They do dog training here.
Right.
So I thought maybe he, knew, what we can fuck up.
Right.
Like, maybe we could have thrown him through a wall or knocked down, the...
had a little wrestle, tussle.
Right. But I got him...
Anticlimactic. It's just sneaks up on him, whacks his head on the thing.
Right, and he's supposed to be a super badass. And, after having him and working with him and getting that warehouse to shoot at, I was like, I'm going to write a movie for him. A Marine movie. Or a vampire hunter movie. Or a... he's right here, because she's like, oh, you hunt vampires? And he's like, not just vampires. So he hunts other shit.
Sure.
Like werewolves.
Maybe your own little brand of supernatural, offshoot kind of thing.
Yeah.
That might actually be fun.
So, I mean, I've got a werewolf
probably-
movie that I want to
you're
wrote
probably
for
not into
Boop.
that.
No, I am. Well, I'm not ever writing another horror movie again.
No, but...
But no, there's a Boop. There's a Boop
super.
werewolf movie that I would love to make, and it's a werewolf movie that I've wanted to make, where all these chicks go out into the forest, all the there's a wolf killing people, and all the dudes are like, let's go fucking hunt this wolf, and then all the chicks are like, the dudes think they can go hunt a wolf, we'll go fucking get that wolf. So all the chicks go out into the forest, right, and then they meet a hiker who is the werewolf. And, he starts killing the chicks now that he's been brought into the camp. And then Boop is the cop, right? And then, an African tribesman who hunts these wolves flies over to work with him because he's like, I know what you're hunting, I've been hunting these things all my life and centuries in my family, And then when they get out to the forest, instead of being in the suit or whatever, he fucking... drops down to tribal gear, and he's just got the loincloth, and he puts the makeup and a spear, and he starts hunting the wolf with Boop, and Boop's like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
And that's my werewolf movie that I would love to do with Boop. And it wouldn't necessarily be a horror movie, it'd be like an action movie.
Sure.
With supernatural elements.
Yeah.
Whereas this is kind of like a crime movie with supernatural elements, but I didn't make it like that, I made it like a horror movie, and that's where I fall short. And, it would have been nice if these two, wrestled a little bit more. If she jumped on his fucking back and he fucking was flinging her around.
Right.
But instead it's also very anticlimactic where she's kind of and then he's like, eh. And it would have been nice. Does
Does
she
he
have
have a little
a little dick?
Oh, you two know each other.
See, she gets all fucking into it and shit. He's so scummy in this. I love it. Like, he got it. He got the lines. Like, there are people where I can just throw the camera at them, and like, this is the line. He got the lines in this scene. This is where I knew that he was the real deal. Even though, like, he could still use some more, like, experience.
I'm so sorry. We'll let you all go.
And her playing fake just comes off as bad.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I'm so scared. But, like, she's not acting
It's not
that.
enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. So cheesy. Like, if I had blood squirting out of that, like, we lost all the sound here. So that's an overdubbing of the line. The scream is some fucking random scream I found online.
It's not terrible.
Like, yeah, if she jumped on him and they swung, like, you know,
What, you think we can
that would have been much better. Oh, there's another effect coming up that, like, is awesome. Do you know what effect I'm
trying
talking
to
about?
remember
It's coming.
Which one you're talking about?
So she fucking whips out that fucking gun. Like you said, you forgot she had that
Right.
gun.
Don't you watch movies, people? I'm a vampire. This doesn't affect me.
And she had trouble acting with the teeth in. Everyone had trouble with the teeth. They couldn't get them to stick in.
So why shoot the phone?
What's that?
What was shooting the phone about?
So that she couldn't, in turn, text her partner, like, oh, just kidding, it's all good. Because she texted, like, hey, I need help, this is where we are.
Right.
So shooting the phone prevents her from being able to see what they did.
Okay.
And undo it, maybe.
Right.
So here's the nice wedding thing. This is almost exactly how when me and Rose did our wedding thing right here when my family came
Okay.
down. It's the same, like,
Similar setup.
very similar setup when we did our Game of Thrones
Okay.
thing. And just for the pictures.
Sure.
But yeah, I did the netting with the leaves. In fact, this looks better. Like, it's about half of what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I was just running out of time when we did it. But here, I got it all set up the night before.
Sure.
And Kenny wasn't here when we filmed. He was supposed to be, but he got stuck working. So, everything with Kenny, we shot around.
It's off screen.
Yeah, it's off screen. So, it's like Kenny's here. I'm right there with my camera, not Casey's. And I'm just like, say your lines. And then I just spliced it in.
Doesn't look terrible.
I'm coming. Cue the fucking music.
And look, there's the Book of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And the knife from Dune. The Chris knife.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today.
You never responded to my artificial intelligence movie.
I wanted to talk to you about it.
Like,
So, okay, you want to talk about that instead of the movie, or you want to talk about it after?
we could talk about it after, I guess.
Okay. This, I like what he says here. It's like, we're here to do some shit that we don't actually fucking do, so none of that shit matters.
We're just fucking around and having fun.
Yeah, we're just fucking playing around right now.
We're playing with our food like cats do with mice.
This little thing is funny. Just, you're not supposed to wear that fucking
wedding
wear.
dress.
Where's the wedding dress? Not the maid of honor, you dumb bitch.
Like, it was supposed to be like a big grand thing where she comes out in the wedding dress.
I found the dress that I like.
And but cause, like, I didn't know where I was gonna shoot any of this stuff. I thought I was gonna find a place because I found a lot of other things. But then when it came to like people reaching out, no one were like, "Oh, I've got a cool big fucking looking
Right.
wedding area that we can deck out." So Ashley's just like, "Oh, I'm just wearing my same clothes," or Faith, this character. And like Jess showed up, it's like, "Hey, if you can get me out of here as soon as possible, that'd be great." So they're just sitting in those chairs, and I filmed them sitting in the chairs and reacting, and I'm like, "Okay, you can go." And her shirt says
It
"Flower
says Flower
Girl."
Girl. I didn't see that last time.
Back,
But I want it.
want the dress and the ring. You want her brother too?
Ew.
Since none of these words or anything we do really
Since I couldn't have her reach past Kenny to put the ring into Dakota's hand.
Right.
Like, and I was trying to be as courteous to my actors as possible. So like I wanted people soaked in blood, but I knew it was gonna stain, and I wanted it all over people's faces. So right here, where she like eats from Dakota's hand, like, oh, like this is the stuff you like, near the end of the Civil War.
Yeah.
So this was your dad's first day, I guess, out of 2, and we ran up to. So this is like right up the road, like where the Red Rock is. So if you go up Red Rock, turn left at the gas station.
Oh, that's recognize the noose.
Yes.
Very well timed.
Godsalt's noose. I bought Kenny the Civil War outfit. And
I thought that the outfits were good.
And your dad...
You wear some shit kickers?
And that's Street Tough's duster.
Is it?
My duster from Street Tough's.
Wow.
Because your dad's like, oh yeah, I found one that's only like $200 or something. I was like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Try mine, see if it fits.
It was close enough.
So, I think he bought the hat.
Yeah. That sounds like something my dad would say.
No, I think that's what he said when he didn't need to say anything. So I just put the line in there. I think it was just, why not? And he said, hell, why not?
Yeah.
And then he goes, and he's got the double fangs.
Right.
And then so he's Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
Here.
I get it.
This is behind fucking Ceres on Virginia.
Who?
The Golden Nugget.
Oh, okay.
And I bought that hat.
The roller derby.
Yeah. To kind of
That
match
sounds
the
like something
Victorian.
my dad would say.
Oh well. It doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
Did I startle you?
No, my child.
Oh, my child.
Also sounds like something you would write.
Right, and this is all I wrote. And the other one I wrote too, he just threw hell in there. But we went up there, and the dude that owned that land, like, without fail, dude, wherever we go to film on location somewhere, someone's going to pop in. And he thought we were abandoning my car, my Hyundai.
Oh, fuck.
He thought we were abandoning that car. And then, you know, thank God your dad's a very social fucking guy.
Right.
You know, was all friendly about it. And
Yeah.
was just like, no, we're shooting a movie. And the dude's like, here's my number, let me know. So I sent him the movie just now when I sent everyone the movie last week.
Right.
That guy probably thought we forgot about him. And he's like, oh, you're shooting a Civil War reenactment movie. Cool. So he fucking goes to watch the movie. It's
Yeah.
still one little
He's
thing.
like, what in the fuck? He probably never made it to that part.
Yeah, right here I would have loved to have had just blood smeared
Just
all
smeared all
over
over
Ashley's
his
face
face.
when he
Yeah.
pulls the hand down. This song I heard at the end of one of the Tell 'em Steve Day podcasts, and I tried to I couldn't find the band or the song anywhere. So if they want to reach out to me, by all means.
Yeah, if you get a cease and desist, that means enough people have seen the movie.
Well, prior to finding this song, the end credit song I
Mhm.
heard, and I was like, this is awesome. It fits with the movie. I found the band. I reached out to them, told them what's up. They said, go for it.
Nice.
So I was like, well, I'll do it with any other song that I hear on Tell 'em Steve, because they get signed acts
Right.
to send in their indie music.
Gotcha.
So I was listening closely to all these old episodes of Tell 'em Steve Dave. They all pop their fangs. And she kills her so very unceremoniously. But we get this slow motion fight scene. And she's got the wedding dress with the fucking old lady jacket on.
Right?
One of these takes that bounced up and hit Casey in the nuts.
Oh, no.
I wonder if, like, because her mom, like, because she's only 16, so, like, I was with her and her mom
Right.
at times. And she thought it was funny that she got to say fuck in this movie and her mom was going to see it. So I wonder if they ever watched it. I sent it to them, so. Like, I did a lot of cool new things that I never thought to do on previous movies.
Sure.
It's
Knife
like,
broken?
I had broke it a while ago and glued it back on, and then it broke again when we were filming.
Gotcha.
So this effect right here. It's coming. Have you forgotten about this?
No, I've seen it. Oh. I did forget about that. Not because it wasn't memorable, but I watched that and I was like, okay, how did he do that? And I remember the Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
the way they did it.
Mm-hmm. Or at least the way someone emulated them doing it.
Yes. And I was curious how you did it.
So I bought a skull.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to my sister. And I sent her the video. I was like, can you do this? So she copied the video and she took a bunch of crayons, melted them down, and molded the face. And the face looked real close to her. I bought like a dreadlocks wig and put it on there, and it looked a lot like her. And me and Casey sat there for an hour with a fucking heat gun, melting that thing, and then we just sped up the video. I would have liked there to have been eyes.
Sure.
So she's sitting there, and she sees the foil coming off, the sun coming in. And she's like, that's gotta be Boop. So, she fucking... And that's a big explosion of blood. I wanted them walking out just covered in blood. But once again, it's like... I
did notice there was some blood on there. on them. When
they have a little bit
of blood.
blood.
I noticed that shotgun.
How did you like that transition? Like, it looks like they're in a house in the woods.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Because he pumps it
because
and
I
he
know.
comes back.
Yeah. I know where this house is.
Right, you know this is where we're currently
but
watching the fucking movie.
I love the transition.
So gross.
You would think they're there.
Absolutely. It's like a lot of stuff we did in the last film. Like where it's
All
in
of
a place
them.
that's not in a place.
It's
And that's
movie magic.
You gotta go sit in my car?
And you're like, oh, hey, Dakota.
Don't get any blood on my shit, okay?
I'll just stand.
We have to burn this place to the ground.
We can't just do stuff like that.
Forest fires happen all the time. Think this one.
It's like, okay.
It's nice to have Boop back for the tie-in to the other movies. So that means Eve is a cop now
You got a gas can?
Sure.
in this. And like I was telling you about that cop, that two-chick cop detective movie that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And Eve would be one of those two detectives. And
I-
Black would be
I
the
like
other one.
her.
She's good.
Yeah?
But she moves around a lot.
Does she?
Yeah, so she lived in Tahoe.
Okay.
She drove down here from Tahoe every time we needed to film, and she's the main character.
Wow.
So she drove from Tahoe a lot,
Wow.
including days where we didn't film because Ian fucked off and ruined everything.
Right.
So she drove from Tahoe to here, and we drove from here to Frenchman's, and turned to come back to here from Frenchman's
So she
for her to go
went
back
to
to
Tahoe.
Tahoe. That pink tie was the tie that we were going to put on the dude in Night Moves.
Was it?
The gay pimp dude.
Oh, yeah.
You don't fuck with vampires.
No. Not in the dark.
And I love that was fucking titties. I liked it.
It's like, that's the name of this
No.
movie.
No, not in the dark.
And the whole idea behind the title Not in the Dark is just another big in-joke. I don't know if you ever watched the Patriot Zombie mockumentary that we made.
I've seen parts of it. It was
But-
difficult to watch also.
No, that one's easy to watch. That one's fucking fantastic. No, that one's great.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I'll go with that.
But my brother Sam was in the movie at one point, and then he was just impossible to get hold of. Not unlike in Street Tops when we tried to film with him.
Right.
And so when we're interviewing like Patrick and Greg and Dakota and Olivia, it's like, okay, we're gonna ask you what happened to Sam, and you just make up whatever you want. And one of Dakota's responses was, all he kept saying was, "Not in the dark." And I'm like, I love it, because I was gonna call the movie Pray for Day.
Okay.
But then I was like, not in the dark. So then I watched Patriot Zombie often, about once a year. And I'm like, not in the dark. That's not bad for a vampire movie.
No,
And
it's
then
beautiful title for the movie.
I'll have Dakota say the line at the end of the movie, the very last line of the movie.
Yep.
Not in the dark. It's like, what does that mean? Not in the dark. It's like, okay, vampires, right? So you want to fight them in the sunlight, not in the dark, blah, blah, blah. But
You're telling me.
And then it's like, yeah, so it's like, oh, really? You know that we've just been dealing with vampires this whole fucking time, Mr. fucking Smarty Pants. Really? Not that, or you don't fuck with vampires. Really, huh? And it's like, yeah, no. Not in the dark.
Oh, man.
And that's my nod to The Lost Boys. Did you ever watch The Lost Boys? The vampire movie with Kiefer Sutherland?
Don't think so.
It's a movie about these kids fighting vampires. And, like, they just moved from wherever the big city to somewhere that'll get you out of here.
That's okay. Just because I look doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
I just want to see.
Alright. So, they move in with their grandfather, right? And their grandfather's constantly going out with the dates with the Widow Johnson or whatever.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie, he plows through the house with his Jeep. And he gets out of the car nonchalantly, goes and grabs a beer out of the fridge, and he's like, that's what I hate about this place. Too many damn vampires. It's like, you knew the whole time there were vampires here?
Right.
That was my reference. So, and there's Not in the Dark.
There it is.
If you can get through the end, or get to the beginning, and get to this point.
If you can get to the last 40 minutes
get
of the film.
to that last line that Dakota
fun.
says, but you need front to back.
Yes.
You can't just be like, oh, I think I'll just watch the end. No, you need to go front to back. We're not going to do a commentary on this. Do a commentary on the commentary. But yeah, no, if you get through the end, get through to the end, it's not bad. Like,
it ties up enough.
I feel good now after watching it. It's like, it's not so bad.
It ties up enough to be fun.
You just need to get through the beginning. And the beginning's slow, but...
And, like I said...
Better on
I've
paper.
said this before, and it's very rare for me to, quote, walk out of a movie. I usually don't.
Right.
I will sit through a fucking shitty movie
and hope
just to watch it and hope there's some nuggets in there that are worth watching.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this was a shitty movie, but I will sit through the slow stuff. I'll sit through the bad the bad delivery of dialogue.
It sucks because
things that are hard to watch.
Sometimes there's slow stuff that you can be like, okay, I know these people and I get it.
Right.
I don't really get that. Like, there was chemistry here on the read-through that was not there when we filmed.
Not produced on film, yeah.
And it's kind of sad because, like, I had so much hope. I thought, like, this was my big comeback.
Yeah.
We got Casey's awesome camera and his zoom. What is it called again?
A
drone?
Yeah.
No, we're going to call it zoom.
Okay.
It's just
like
I'm going to blow people's socks off with this.
So where you're at now, having finished up the film finally...
For me, I feel like the movie now is more like of reminding myself, like, oh yeah, all those things that I said I wasn't going to do on the next one, I did do. And, like, it was a 3-year gap from the last one.
Sure.
2016 to 2019. So, like, getting back into the swing of things, it's like, oh, yeah, this is how we do it. Oh, yeah, I forgot that can happen.
Right.
I hope that we get a quicker turnaround for the next movie.
So what's on the...
your dad...
You're going to start working,
Your dad's like, hey, I got this guy that can do, like, an Italian hitman.
Fucked up.
He said he wants to be in a movie again.
Tommy? Yeah,
he
of course.
said he wants to be in... Or
Love
no.
Tommy.
He didn't die, did he?
No.
Are you sure?
I saw him last weekend. Or 2 weeks ago I saw him.
I might have had a dream where he died.
He did die. He did not die.
I thought I had a dream where your dad talked to me and was like, oh, never mind about that guy. He died. Is that weird?
That is weird.
I want to say that I had a dream that something where your dad told me, like, never mind. Oh, no, this is what he said. I don't know. I know he just said, like, oh, he wants to be in a movie again.
Okay. Well,
Let's leave it at that.
That's Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy Carcetti. What is that from? Tommy Carcetti.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's from
TV
The
show.
Wire. It's from The Wire.
Okay.
TV show. So, like, I want to do that. I want to do that chick detective movie.
I think the real lesson,
like I told you, like, I'll write Car
is
Chase.
to move on and do another one sooner than later.
And it's
this summer. Instead of waiting 2 years to start making another one, make another one now, so that in 2 years you have a finished project.
And that was another thing with this. I was trying to get this done so that I could submit it to the Las Vegas Festival because I knew it would play there.
Right.
So, like, we rushed some things when I probably could have dragged it out a little bit longer.
So let's do something that's not a horror film. Fuck Vegas, and let's do something else.
Well, even then, could
Probably
be the next year.
Sure.
Could be the next year. Like, I want to do that Detective Chicks movie.
Sure.
I think that would be great. It's just I'm not motivated right now because they got me fucking working every day at work, and I don't got any free time to kind of like. I need to relax, and I need to get my head back, and I need to get back out of work, and I need to get back out of life, and I need to get back out of things, so that I can be like, oh, there's nothing on my mind, there's nothing on my shoulders. I can wake up in the morning, and I could put on my record.
You have your process.
And, I could eat my egg sandwich, and I could drink my, whatever. And I could sit down, and I can get my 10 pages a day out. So, like, if I can get 10 pages a day out on my 3-day weekend, that's 30 pages a weekend. And I go to 90, that's a full script in 3 weeks. Like, that's what I need.
Sure.
But if I'm working every day, I don't have a weekend anymore.
Sure.
And I'm exhausted when I get home, and I try to put on a movie to unwind, and I pass out, and I have no free time.
That's what my days look like. I'll probably do that when I go home.
Yeah. So, there's a Comic-Con this weekend.
Is there?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Val Kilmer's going to be in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Batman.
But he's all fucked up now.
Val Kilmer?
Yeah, he had, like, tongue or throat cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had surgery, so he don't talk no more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So, because I saw him in a movie.
His face all fucked up?
He looks like an old man now. He's not,
Sure.
Top Gun quality.
Yeah, well.
He's not Batman quality, but he looks like Val Kilmer. He just looks like an old Val Kilmer, but when he talks, it's scratchy,
Gotcha.
everything else. Because I went and saw the movie The Snowman, a couple of years ago, and it's like, oh, Val Kilmer's in this movie.
And it's not him.
And then it's his dubbed voice. It's a dubbed voice. It's like, that isn't even close. For the world who knows who fucking Val Kilmer is over the last 20 fucking years, they could have gotten a better guy to fucking be close to his voice.
Go down to LA and just look around for somebody that fucking sounds like Val Kilmer.
Right, instead they've got a dude that's like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, that's not Val Kilmer's voice.
Maybe that's not the important part.
And he was like, but he did Silent Bob in this new Kevin Smith movie.
Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, because Val Kilmer reached out to Kevin Smith, and he's like, oh, do you want to be in the new movie? He's like, hey, my voice isn't back yet.
Sure.
And he's like, no. He's like, maybe I can be Silent Bob's cousin. He's like, no, I got the perfect thing. So, like, they're making a reboot of Blunt Man and Chronic in the movie. So Val Kilmer is playing Blunt Man.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't need to talk.
Perfect. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Corey,
let's
move on to the next movie.
Dark. Let's make another film.
I like that now. After watching it, I feel good.
It's not terrible. Like I said, the
I don't know why no one's talked to me though.
I think they're
afraid to tell me they don't like the beginning.
I think they don't know what to say.
Maybe.
Honestly, because
Look, Alexis and Paul both went down to Vegas to watch the movie.
Final notes, right? There are a lot of things that were well built in the film. A lot of visual elements that were really fun to watch. Dialogue things that were funny, that were quippy and interesting to listen to. It didn't all fall together the way it should have.
It's me mixing genres again. I can't not mix genres.
And I was going to say it.
There's some comedy in there.
And there
is.
Some crime and I don't have a problem
There's
with
some
that.
drama in there.
There's no problem with
it. But
doing
it's a horror movie.
But I think the problem with it is that there's too many backstories. There's too many things you're trying to bring all into one room.
So what you're saying is Daryl ruined the movie.
Yes. That was the worst part of the film, was that prisoner number 2.
The cameo. He's playing the same part from God's Salt. He might be Freddy. I don't know.
You never know.
Freddy was in maybe Freddy is the prisoner number 2.
And when he got out of prison...
He got out of prison.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
god.
gang leaders, a whole tie-up.
And he was been a vampire the entire time. That's why he never
Exactly.
left the office.
Right.
Not
Not in the dark.
Not in the dark. Yeah, no, only in the dark.
So,
Not in the sun.
and like I said, it's not too problematic for the movie. I just think it makes it busy and also takes away from what it could be.
And I think I was trying to do something that I'm not. And I'm a crime writer, and I love my crime movies, and my passions in my crime movies. And like over the years, I kind of moved away from horror. I used to be big into horror at one point, and I'm not into the horror anymore. But I've always been into crime.
Let's do a straight like crime action film.
I wish that we could
No
do
supernatural.
Get Fiasco.
We can. We should.
We can. Not without Robert. I
should
can't make that
get
without
him.
Robert. I would love to get
We'll get him. I will drive to wherever he is
He's 3 hours away.
and kidnap him.
He called me. Did I tell you he called me? I
Did he?
didn't I? Did I text you and like, oh, Robert just called me?
Yeah, you said that. Where
Yeah,
is
he called me. He's in someplace in California. I can't ever remember what he says. It's like San
Does he do
Diego or
anything?
Santa Montecito or whatever it is.
That's like 7 hours away.
No, I don't know exactly what he says, but it's one of those places that's like it's a common California city name, but not common enough that you can remember it.
San Bernardino?
He says he's 3 hours away. So what's 3 hours away?
Santa Rosa?
Santa Rosa. Maybe that's it.
Maybe. What's he doing?
I think he's
Contracting, or-
I think he's just contracting and keeping clean. He's not drinking. He's got a girlfriend. He's just got enough money to get like his own place. So I
Maybe
think
we should leave him alone.
yeah. Well, it's not. I don't think we drove him to drink.
No.
He just needed to get out of Reno and needed to start over.
Happens to a lot of people.
In the meantime, we lose him as an actor.
Yeah, but
I know I need to write this movie with the two detective chicks, but then I don't think I have Alexis because she is like somewhere else. Like she is a nomad. She wanders around. She doesn't stay in one place. She's from Jersey.
holy shit.
And she moved to Tahoe, and now she's in like Grass Valley or somewhere.
That's weird.
So like she is the living embodiment of someone who just kind of goes with the flow.
It's doing whatever sounds good.
Yeah, it's doing whatever sounds good.
Well, good for her.
So I might not have her. So like I'll figure something out, and I'll need to write. So once peak is over with here at work, I will do a deep dive in like January.
All right.
So
Let's do it and look at it.
and then there's this AI movie that I like.
We'll cover that after the fact.
All right. Well,
Wrap
this
it.
is sequel podcast. Almost 2 hours later.
Season 56.
I'm sure your wife
Episode
loves
number
missing you.
392.
Dude, we're
Oh,
close
she's
to two.
She's asleep.
We're close to two. And she doesn't. Does she hate me? A little bit.
I mean,
Look at that
yeah,
pause.
No, not all the time.
That pause.
She doesn't always hate you.
I only get you for a little bit, Corey.
I know.
I'm sure she only gets you for a little bit too.
It's okay.
Because of work, dude. It's work. I never get to see my wife because I'm working all the time. She's
I
working
know.
all the time, and it sucks. And we've got friends, and we got other family members, and we got all these things that we want to do, but
You have to find.
gotta sneak
you
it
have to
in.
find whatever little time you do have
you gotta sneak it
to
in.
do that thing that you want to do, like make a movie, write a script. And
I'm sure your
I
wife's
have-
really gonna love it when we decide to make a movie.
But you know what? It's a
Fuck her!
sacrifice.
No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
and she knows. She knows that she hates it because of the time commitment it requires, the time we don't have, and the time that I do put into it.
Right.
But she knows that it's a sacrifice that
Everyone has.
Everyone
to.
has to
Everyone's
make-
making it. Everyone's making it
for at least someone's enjoyment.
for art. Maybe not hers, but
And she understands.
did she
that.
watch the movie?
Probably not.
Oh, you didn't watch it
I didn't
together.
watch it with her. No, she was asleep already when I watched it.
Well, text her
But-
the link and be like, "Watch this."
She has a hard time watching your films.
Really, she don't like them.
She might
She
actually.
was in one.
She might actually like this one better, not for dialogue and content, but her big issue was all camera work. She doesn't like the way you handle the camera
Oh,
because of your style, the way you shoot things. She doesn't like fucking. What the fuck is
handheld, shaky cam.
shaky cam? No, who's a fucking director that I'm thinking of?
Paul Greengrass.
Reservoir Dogs and
Quentin Tarantino.
Yes, she hates Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, she doesn't like artsy fucking.
She doesn't like.
Has she tried to watch? Because Rose had said that at one point that she hates Quentin Tarantino.
And
But then I
I-
start showing her movies,
I have
and
been
she's like,
able-
"Oh, I like that. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie."
I have been able to sneak some on her. but she doesn't like the quintessential Tarantino movies.
She probably liked Jackie Brown. Rose
She
loved
probably
Jackie
would.
Brown. That's
Yeah.
the one.
And he has some stuff that fits for the masses.
No, she hates Kill Bill.
Yeah, that's
Kill
probably
Bill
what
is
it
the one that she hates.
And
And
most
that's
people-
probably the only one she ever saw.
I wonder if
Because
she
she
ever saw.
liked all the
I
others.
love Django.
I hate Django.
You
Django's
hate
my
the movie?
least favorite Quentin
Tarantino,
Tarantino movie.
really?
Yeah. And Rose liked Django.
What are they all looking at? I ain't never seen no nigga on a horse before. Jamie Foxx was fucking awesome in that film.
I should probably give it another look, but I feel like he made 3 movies and put them all together as one.
It was a big movie.
But I loved Hateful Eight.
See, I wasn't.
And he went and made
I
that
wasn't
longer.
as big a fan with that.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was good too.
I still yet to see that. That's on my list.
Well, it'll be out on DVD probably for Christmas. So.
Nice. All right.
All right, Corey. Sequel Podcast. I'm at Bonta.
I'm Cory Easley.
Peace out.